Yo, how's everybody doing? I have a question for everyone. Is there anything to hope for in the next few months of this season? Because, man, it feels like after that 5-1, it feels like there is not. Now, I'm going to look at some stuff today and see if I can create sort of a positive feel around Man City and being a fan and supporting the team, just to see if we can kind of see the silver lining, see the positivity that I'm sure many of us fans are not feeling whatsoever following such a tough game against Arsenal. We got panned. It is what it is, man. We got slapped up. Like, it is what it is. It's, Arsenal fans are gonna celebrate in our face, and we kind of gotta hold that. And it is what it is. It's not something I'm overly concerned about. We got 4 Premier Leagues in a row. We got 6 and 7 years. Like, you guys haven't won in 20 years. I'll be okay. So do your celebrations. It's no big deal. Comment on my videos. Tell me how I'm a glory hunter. Whatever. No big deal. Again, it doesn't bother me. I'm cool with my trophy cabinet, and I'm sure you guys wish yours was something like ours. So anyway, like I'm saying, I want to look and see at, now that this transfer window is closed and we've made multiple signings and spent basically more money than the rest of the Premier League combined. I want to see what our squad can look like, what our lineups we could maybe expect, what we can see, and see if that provides some positivity, some happy feelings that I currently do not have with watching us play, because it's diabolical, some of the football we've been watching lately. So I'm gonna go over here quickly to my lineup builder, and I'll move myself out of the way. So we'll start this. It's gonna be a nice and short video. I don't think there'll be a whole lot of differing opinion, but maybe there is. I haven't. I'm doing this right now for the first time. It's not something I have overly thought about. This is how I operate. I work on the fly. I don't really put prep in to these sort of things. I just roll with it and see what happens. So I'm rolling with Ortega on the bench. Ortega, I'm sorry, bro. You're a great backup, but you need to hold bench the rest of the season. Ederson is miles better. Your distribution in the Arsenal game was shambolic. You're supposed to be the guy that goes in and makes these saves for us, because Ederson is, not the best shot stopper. And you let 5 through, and multiple ones of them were questionable. You gave ball away multiple times. Long kicks weren't there. Ederson to Holland has been great for us over the last month, I would say, and that was pretty non-existent against Arsenal. So I'm going to assume all the City fans are happy with this sort of partnership. Ederson starts the majority of the games. Ortega, you can start in the FA Cup. And we just gotta give Ederson as many games as we can get, because it is very possible he leaves in the summer. As sad as I would be, I mean, sometimes you can't stop a guy from chasing the bag to go to Saudi Arabia. So it is what it is. I mean, I hope we can figure out a new contract for him and get him to stay. Again, time will tell there. But if he does leave and the option is Ortega or sign someone else, I'm rolling with sign someone else, guys. I at one point I thought maybe Ortega could be the number one, but I don't know. Feels like he's just not good enough, unfortunately. So he'll probably leave in the summer as well, meaning 2 new goalkeepers will need to come in. Hopefully it's, a big name, somebody who's got a lot of experience and can play similar to Ederson. Guys like Chevalier in the French league is very good. I've seen us link to him in the past. And then the other big name I like is Diogo Costa in the Portuguese league. Again, another one comfortable playing with his feet and is a very good shot stopper. So those are the 2 names I personally would look at. As far as for the backup, I mean, it's important, but it is a little bit further down the list of importance, I would say. So I would be looking at a young goalkeeper. If you can convince Trafford to come back, probably can't, but that would be, a good one in my opinion. Someone like that, someone whose English is going to count towards the homegrown quota that we will probably need based on a lot of our signings. I think that would be a smart and a wise move. Or if you don't want to go with the younger route, maybe go with someone who's a little bit older, and is kind of looking for, he doesn't have to play every now and then, and it's a bridge before you get the younger guy to come through. Maybe that's something you could consider. So time will tell. Now, the rest of the back line. This is assuming all of our guys are fit that will be able to come back this season. So I'm not going to put Rodri in the midfield because it's just not realistic to me to see him this year. As much as all of us would love it and be excited to see Rodri, I don't think it's smart at all whatsoever to get him in the team, really. I'm not comfortable with it. So Vardiol left back, of course. Now for my center back options, I have a few. I have more than I had at the beginning of the season, which is nice. You've got Ruben Diaz, you've got Akanji, you've got John Stones, Nathan Ake, of course, and then you have the new boys, Abdikadir Kusanov and Vitor Heiss. So while I like the idea of playing Vitor Heiss and Kusanov, I don't see it happening basically at all the rest of the way. They'll probably feature on Saturday against Leyton Orient, but I don't see much of a role for them this season, which is why, I'm not giving this window a 10 out of 10 or anything like that. They're guys that are there for the future. Maybe Kusanov gets some minutes, but, I don't know. So on the left, I am going with Ruben Diaz, of course, if that's how you spell Ruben Diaz. There we go. R-U-B. There we go. Ruben Diaz. Now, next to him, I'm kind of tired of watching Manuel Akanji make these errors in game. So for me, I'm going to go with John Stones, starting center back on the right-hand side. I think it's the better option. It's what we probably need to do. Even if he's, in an injury risk, I don't know, man. He's better than Akanji. He's better than Ake most of the time, in my opinion. The Diaz-Stones partnership, we haven't had it much this season at all, and that's probably one of the main problems we have. Now, right back, you have two options, of course, so we all know. Well, I guess you have a third if you want to roll with Akanji there. I don't know. He seems a little shaky lately. I'd probably avoid that personally. So unless someone can leave me a comment and talk me out of this, I'm just going to go with Mateus Nunes, I guess. And then on the bench, we'll just go with Rico Lewis. I don't know. I'm not sure this makes a huge difference. It would have been nice to get Cambiasso. And again, this is definitely a position we need to strengthen in the summer. We need to find the long-term Kyle Walker replacement. Who that is it Cambiasso? Is it Jeremy Frimpong? I don't know. Feel like Frimpong interest could be revisited in the summer, possibly, if Juventus are going to hold out for this 75 million euro fee or pound fee, whatever it was. It seems a little bit unrealistic. Like, we're not going to go that high on a fullback, of course. So maybe Frimpong, who's available for probably a lot less and is, of course, a former City Academy player. Maybe that's the route we go. I'm not sure. But in general, the negative on Frimpong, he's not a great defender. And we are, for the most part, going with more physical, big-profiled, strong-bodied players. And Frimpong is not that. He is smaller, kind of in the Rico Lewis body style mold. While he is, much better going forward, of course, it's just not sure that is a prototypical player that we're going to be looking at for the rest of the way. So underneath Stones, I am going to go to the bench, and we can go with Akanji here. And underneath Diaz, I guess we can do Kusanov here. Kusanov. There we go. And then on this left-hand side, Nathan Ake, but he can kind of rotate between center back and left back over top of Kusanov. I mean, we need both of these guys to get fit and healthy, of course, as quickly as they can. Not sure if Vitor Heiss will be getting any minutes at all. Dude's only 19. He looks really skinny. Premier League is physical and demanding, so I'll leave it as is for now. Now, elsewhere on the pitch, we move to the midfield. The midfield, of course, is the hottest debate around City fans. What do we do? How do we fix it? How do we get legs in there? And unfortunately, there is not really a fix. There's Nico Gonzalez, who has now arrived, of course, but I don't know that he's the one to save our season, per se. So I do think he'll probably be starting a lot of the games. Pep is a big Nico Gonzalez guy. He has basically wanted and looked at having Nico in and around the Man City team since he was 14 years old, according to some reports. So I don't know. He's probably going to get a lot of minutes, is my guess. Of course, I do think you probably are going to roll with Kovacic in the midfield here, and it's probably going to look something like this with a more advanced player being either KDB, Foden, depending on where you want to play them. For me, KDB is our greatest ever player. I will never change my mind on that until I see someone better than him, and I don't expect to see anyone better than KDB. So I'm going KDB there. I know he's old. I know he's out of shape maybe and doesn't have the legs anymore. But if he's fit and available, the guy needs to play. He's the only one that creates anything in the midfield at all for us. He has that ability that people just don't have. So when he's not on the field, you saw it against Arsenal. There's not a lot we create, unfortunately. Elsewhere, I'm gonna go to the attack here and see. I'm not sure where else other guys are going to feature. I guess if we want a backup 6, we're going to say Gundogan is that backup 6, I guess, even though he's not great in this backup role. Maybe Bernardo here, I guess, and then maybe Foden, maybe Claudio Echeverri, one who is, coming over from Argentina soon, maybe in a couple weeks or so. I guess he could be in this role as well, but this could also be Foden. This could also be Marmoush. This could also be Oscar Bob when he's back and fit. So there's a lot of players in that role. I'm not sure where I want to put them just yet. Of course, at striker, it's only one option. It's Erling Haaland, a decade-long contracted man. I'm going to put Marmoush here as the backup for him because I do think Haaland will rest in some games, and it will be Marmoush starting at striker, not our younger guy Mubama. I don't foresee him getting much playing time. Maybe he plays in the FA Cup, maybe, but maybe not. Left wing, I do think for the most part starting is going to be Marmoush. He's just better, in my opinion, than the rest of the wingers we have. I like him a lot. He showed a lot of promise. He makes runs. But that's, again, why we need KDB on the pitch to find those runs and find Marmoush because he's made a lot of runs and got basically no service in the limited time he has played. I guess I'll roll with Jeremy Doku here as a sub for the left wing. Now, a lot of people like Doku, but a lot of people don't like Doku. And unfortunately for him, I am on the side that does not rate him very highly. He has his moments, of course. I'm not denying that. He could make it, maybe, and be an exceptional player for us. Me personally, I don't see it. He is a major, major injury concern that kind of gets glossed over. We call Stones out, we call Ake out for being injured all the time, but Doku might be more injured than them. He has not played in back-to-back games for a full 90 minutes in his entire Manchester City career. And he's been here for 18 months. I mean, that is outrageous. And I looked it up myself. I did the research. It's a fact. He has yet to play 2 games back-to-back, 90 minutes. It hasn't happened. He's either missed the game completely or came off the bench or was subbed. No point did he play 2 games, play the full game. Doesn't happen. And that's a concern. How is that even possible? How? I don't get it. So, and then you put on top of the fact that he's so unpredictable. I don't know if the rest of the guys playing with him know what he's going to be doing on the field. It's just it doesn't work for me with Doku. Really, as a general idea, I don't see it. Maybe I will be convinced and change my mind in the future, but I don't see it, unfortunately. Now, this right wing position is interesting because you see there's multiple options. You have Foden, you have Savinho, and you have Oscar Bob. I think Foden is probably a bang on starter. He's too good to not start. So while I was in my head picturing Savinho / Bob there, I just think Foden is too good to be put as bench to De Bruyne here. I think I will do this and say Savinho here, and then maybe Bob here. But again, this could be Marmoush here. This could be Foden here. This could be Echeverri, I guess. Does it let me do a second bench player? No, it doesn't. So Echeverri is going to be in and around the team. I don't know how much game time he's getting. I hope it's more than a Maximo Perroni got in his time. I do for sure hope that is the case. But again, remains to be seen. Here we have 22 players, 2 at each position. Actually, 21, excuse me, because I have Marmoush here twice because there's no real other backup striker. But I guess that is what I would go with. I would be interested to see what you guys say in the comments if you have differing opinions, because it's kind of flexible with the formation they end up going with. You know, there could be a sole 6. Foden could tuck in. You could have a flat line like something like this where Nico is a bit more advanced, or that could be Bernardo, or Foden is here and Bob is out on the right. You know, there's a ton of different things that Pep can do, and I'm sure will do over the next 3-4 months that we have left of this season. Of course, it's going to be maybe a brutal month here in February. I don't think it's fair to lay our midfield dreams of what it used to be on Nico Gonzalez. It's probably not fair on him, but it's not really fair on Kovacic and Gundogan asking them what we've had to ask them to do over the last 6 months of this season, because they can't do it, unfortunately. So Rodri creates a huge hole. Our center backs injuries have been brutal as well, of course, which is part of the reason why we are in the hole that we're in. But again, this lineup, I feel like in general it will work, and we will see an improved second half of the season. Ideally, we lock down top 4, no stress, no drama. We go far in the FA Cup, make a run at it. Maybe we win it, maybe we don't. It is what it is. Of course, I would love to win it, but again, top 4. Securing that Champions League spot for next season is my biggest and most obvious concern. Champions League, brutal draw, Real Madrid. I watched them at the weekend. They looked like crap, but again, Real Madrid is something that is hard to beat, man. It's hard to go to Bernabeu and do something to them. So I'm not gonna be overly expecting positive results there. Chat says, how about a 3-2-3-2? Marmoush up front with Holland. WLM. Put the chat in. Yeah, I mean, we could look at that. No problem. Let's see here. I don't know if that is actually an option on here. 3-2-3-2. I could create it myself. Like this. So we'll go with Holland. And you want Holland and Marmoush up front. I don't know if we'll truly see 2 up front. It's probably something like this. Like this is what you'd be getting at. I would think 3-2-3-2. The only problem I see is I don't like Nunez in a center 3 back line. I don't know. I don't know if that works for me. I guess he could be bombing up the right hand side and Foden tucks in, but then it does get a little bit crowded up here. like that. If you had Rodri, a lot of your problems are saved. So this is again another possible position that we look at. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But that third center back role maybe has to be Vardiol down here, and then this is like Savino, and in this formation you maybe can't have KDB and Foden on the field. You could replace Nunez with the Kanji, which you're right, I probably would do that in this specific formation. Hopefully, we have some sort of understanding that these back three stay solid, because this is a very attacking formation, of course, and is not. I don't know if this is something that we would see from Pep. What I imagine would happen here is these guys would be kind of filling this channel here. De Bruyne would drop a little bit deeper, and Marmoush would kind of be like this, is my kind of guess, and he would play that advanced role like KDB sometimes does, where he pushes really high up the field. So I don't know if Marmoush and KDB both fit in the team in that scenario. I mean, personally, I would be ecstatic if we ran a two striker formation, but it has been quite a long time since we've seen two strikers. I think it was back when we had Jesus and Aguero, and we had flying fullbacks like Benjamin Mendy and Kyle Walker to send those crosses in. So maybe it's something that Pep looks at. Maybe it's something different. If you guys have any comments or ideas in the chat, I would love to hear them. I would love to interact with the chat. That's one of the best things about YouTube for sure. So it's always much appreciated. That is my idea combined with the chat's idea. We will see whenever there's more news as well. I will, of course, come back live, see if there's any more transfer news for summer. Hopefully we have a massive summer coming up. But again, remains to be seen. Probably hinges on our league finish here. So with that being said, I do appreciate you guys. Of course, one last comment in here. I think Marmoush has to play with KDB because Marmoush makes many good runs. I totally agree. I did talk about that maybe like 10 minutes ago when I was building out the original team. Marmoush has made runs on runs over the last few games that he's been in, and there's that clip on Twitter of Bernardo seeing Marmoush making the run and then turning around and not being able to find him. KDB's the only guy in the team that has that in his locker. He's just the only one. Kovacic is a ball carrier. He's not a ball passer, unfortunately. Foden is more of a goal creator than a pure passer, and Rodri is the one that would actually make that pass, in my opinion, as well. But unfortunate, we don't have him anymore. So I totally agree, though. KDB, he might be leaving in the summer. He needs to stay with the team as long as he can. For me personally, I think it should be up to him when he leaves. New contract, I'm cool with it. 1 year deal, 1 year plus 1 year deal, up to him. Whenever he's ready to leave, he can go. If he wants to leave this summer and go get the money in Saudi or come to MLS so I can see him play in person because I live over here in America, that'd be cool. But yeah, I think he's earned it to where he can leave whenever he wants. It's up to him. But again, like I said, I do appreciate you guys. I will be back on another live stream as soon as there's some more news, some more content. Or if you guys have any ideas for videos you want me to talk about, I would love you to leave them below, and I'll certainly do that, as well as plan on getting on some other people's shows here shortly. Channel continues to grow, which I'm very appreciative for. We are 11 subscribers away from 50, which is pretty cool. So anyway, I appreciate it. Big up. City till we die, of course. Majorly appreciate you guys. Leave a like and a comment and subscribe.